How do you maintain your focus in a world full of rings and pings and dings and app notifications and social media alerts? Here's the thing. Where your focus goes, your time, your energy flows. And that's where your results show. And where are you putting your attention? Where are you shining your lens? The reason why I bring this up is you have part of your brain called your reticular activating system. Reticular activating system, RAS. And that's part of your brain because did you know your brain is primarily a deletion device? You're trying to keep information out of your mind, meaning if you let everything in, what would happen? If you open the floodgates, we would be overloaded. We would be way overwhelmed. We would go insane because there'd be so much stimulus, so much noise. And so you could only process approximately, according to different studies, 5 to 9 bits of information at a time. But here's the thing, what we decide to let in is determined by, number one, our survival. The things that are threatening, that's key to our existence, we have to pay attention because that's how we're gonna survive. But the other things that we let in is when we connect with that part of our brain, it's called an RAS, reticular activating system. That's kind of like the filter of where we're gonna put our lens, our awareness, and how we can control it even more is through the power of questions.
인간의 뇌에는 망상 활성화 시스템이 있는데 이는 정보 삭제 장치로 작용하여 뇌에 들어오는 모든 정보를 필터링하는 역할을 한다고 합니다. 그래서 우리들의 뇌는 기본적으로 들어오는 정보를 머릿속에서 지우려고 한다고 해요. 하지만 오늘날의 정보는 생존과 밀접한 관련이 있기 때문에 이런 방식으로 정보가 소실되는 것은 생존을 위협하는 것과 마찬가지라고 합니다. 이에 대해 짐퀵은 질문하는 것이 도움이 될 수 있다고 말합니다.
I believe questions are the answer. So what are the questions you're asking yourself on a regular basis to be more productive? Because the average person has about 50 to 70,000 thoughts a day. The challenge, 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts you had yesterday, isn't it? And the day before that, and the day before that. And you wonder why you can't make big leaps in your productivity or in your learning or in your income or in your life because we're having the same thoughts. And these thoughts lead to the same actions, and these actions lead to the same experiences, and those experiences lead to the same feelings, and those feelings feed those same thoughts.
행동의 기반은 생각이고 생각의 기반은 감정입니다. 우리가 어떤 감정을 느낄 때 생각이라는 씨앗이 심어지고 씨앗이 자라면서 행동으로 이어지게 됩니다. 그리고 행동으로 새겨진 경험은 또 다른 감정을 낳게 되죠. 모두가 같은 경험을 할 수 있지만 모두가 같은 생각을 할 수는 없습니다. 심지어 무엇을 느끼는지조차 생각에 따라 달라지게 되죠. 만약 여기서 우리가 새로운 감정을 못 느끼고 새로운 생각과 행동을 하지 않는다면 어떻게 될까요? 아마 늘 똑같은 결과가 나오게 될 겁니다. 그래서 짐퀵은 생각은 곧 실체라고 말합니다.
So, going back to the first part, which is our thoughts are things. And so a lot of those thoughts come in the form of questions. So for example, you've heard this in the reading course. I talk about that if you ever read a page in a book, got to the end and just forgot what you just read, how embarrassing, and you go back and you read it and you still don't know what you just read, part of it is we're not asking enough questions. For example, years ago, my sister would send me postcards and emails of a very specific kind of dog, pictures of a very specific kind of breed of dog, a pug dog. And I didn't know why, so I started asking questions like, why does she keep sending me these photos, right? But I realized that her birthday was coming up and she was kind of planting seeds. And here's the funny thing, I started seeing pug dogs everywhere. I would go to the supermarket, I'd be checking out, and somebody in front of me would be holding a pug dog. Can you imagine that, going to the supermarket, someone's holding a pug dog? Or I'd be running in my neighborhood. I started running my neighborhood and I remember seeing somebody walking 6 pug dogs, right? And my question for you is, did these pug dogs just magically appear around in my neighborhood? Did they just magically appear at the store? No, they were always there, but they were part of my brain that I was deleting. Like all the stimulus, my brain was shutting out. I wasn't paying attention to them, right? I didn't see them. I might like be able to see them, but I wasn't really paying attention to them because it wasn't important to me until I started asking the question, you know, why is she sending me these photographs, right? Why are these pugs important? I started seeing them everywhere. Well, here's the lesson. There are pug dogs everywhere, and these are the things that you're looking for. Ask and you shall receive. When you ask a question like, why am I never good enough? You've charged that, and all of a sudden you see answer, 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 answer. Pug dog, pug dog, pug dog. When you're reading and you have questions about what's going on in the book and the lessons that you can learn and how can you use that, Questions gives you answer. Questions are like magnets that pull information inside of your mind as opposed to someone trying to push information inside.
생각은 곧 실체이고 이는 보통 질문으로 나타난다고 합니다. 짐퀵은 여동생에게 퍼그 사진과 엽서를 받았고 이게 무엇을 의미하는지 스스로에게 질문했을 때 비로소 주변에 있는 퍼그들이 보이기 시작했습니다. 퍼그가 갑자기 나타난 게 아니라 원래 있던 퍼그들이 잘 보이게 된 것이죠. 이는 망상 활성화 시스템으로 인해 인식되고 있지 않던 퍼그가 질문을 통해 눈에 들어오게 된 겁니다. 이처럼 질문은 원하는 정보를 끌어당길 수 있는 자석 같은 역할을 한다고 해요. 그러면 어떻게 해야 이런 질문들을 잘 활용할 수 있을까요?
And so, what are the questions you're asking yourself? And how is it affecting your performance, your peace of mind, your profitability, and also what this program is all about, your productivity? Asking a question like, what is the best use of this moment? When you're faced with a decision or a dilemma, and a lot of times we'll ask ourselves, what do I need to do? What if you ask yourself, who do I need to be at this moment? Who do I need to be? Maybe I need to be bold. Maybe I need to be curious. Maybe I need to be playful. Maybe I need to be compassionate. Because the doing takes care of itself. If you choose to be a compassionate person in this moment, then you're going to do compassionate things. You're going to do kind, loving things. And so you can ask yourself a new question and then you can get a new answer. It even helps with your creativity and your innovation. A lot of technology and advances and innovations in industries came from people outside of the industry. Because it usually takes somebody outside of an industry to ask a brand new question to get a brand new answer. It takes like an Elon Musk to look at the automotive industry and say, well, if we were to make a car today with today's existing technology, where technology is going, how would we make a car? So instead of some kind of incremental, you'd have more of an exponential innovation. There's a great book called 0 to 1, 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. And he says in there, what if you have your 10-year goal? Like think about what your 10-year goal would be. Just kind of fantasize and imagine, where would you like to be in 10 years? Now ask yourself this question, what if I had to hit my 10-year goal, but I was only given 6 months to be able to achieve it? Right? You ask a new question, you're going to get a new answer. You're going to get an answer no one's ever received. And so be conscious of your questions because those 50, 60, 70,000 thoughts a day, a lot of those thoughts come in the form of questions. And so what would you like your questions to be? What questions would make you more focused? If you asked yourself 100 times a day, how do I make this moment even more magical? What would happen? You start seeing those pug dogs. There's an answer, there's an answer, there's an answer. How can I get the most done in the least amount of time? How can I make this easier? How can I make this more effortless? Right? You start asking and you're going to start receiving these answers. Think about your brain as kind of like, your questions are kind of like a spotlight. So imagine you're in a dark room, but when you have a thought or a question, you shine a spotlight in that area. And where are you not shining the light? Often the treasure you seek is hidden in that area that you're avoiding. Often the treasure we seek in life is hidden in the areas that we're avoiding. So where are you avoiding shining a light on? Like maybe you don't want to look at your finances. You don't want to pull up your credit report. You don't want to go to the doctors to get a checkup, right? Maybe you're afraid of looking at those answers so you can make better decisions. My spark for you, what I'd like to have in this conversation is take a small, simple step. What is the best question you could ask to be more productive, to be more happy? Like, how can I get this done and enjoy the process? That's a great question. How can I get through my emails or this meeting? How can I make this meeting more rewarding and more fun? Then all of a sudden you start getting answers and your team will start getting answers. And do this with your kids also as well. So remember, questions are the answer. Questions are an amazing tool that you have in your productivity toolkit. It's in your mental toolkit, and you can pull it out at any given time. And be conscious of the questions you're asking yourself. How do I get people to like me? Or why am I not enough? Or why can't I ever be productive? Then you're gonna get all these answers. But if you ask yourself, how can I get the most done in the least amount of time and have fun in the process? You're gonna see answers because you're gonna shine a spotlight. How can I make these questions better? How can I make these questions more useful? Instead of spending 30 days on it, how can I get it done in the next 3 days? Like if you gave your children 30 days to clean their room, they're gonna take 30 days to clean their room. But if you have a project and you gave yourself 3 hours, the same thing will happen also as well. And it really starts with your first year thinking. So ask the right questions and you'll get the right answers. So I have a question for you. What are the dominant questions you're asking yourself on a regular basis?
오늘은 세계적인 두뇌 전문가이자 상위 0.1% 사람들의 성공 멘토인 짐 퀵이 말하는 집중의 비밀에 관한 이야기를 소개해드렸습니다. 여러분들은 스스로 질문하시나요? 어느 상황이든 분명 자주 하실 거라고 생각합니다. 직장을 다니다 보면 이렇게 사는 게 맞나라는 생각이 들 수도 있고, 공부를 하다가도 이 길로 가는 게 맞나라는 질문을 할 수도 있죠. 제 생각에 여기서 가장 중요한 건 이때 질문으로 끝내는 게 아니라 이에 대해서 대답하는 게 가장 중요하다고 생각합니다. 여러분들만의 퍼그를 찾는 것이죠. 화성에 가고 싶다라는 마음을 가진 일론 머스크의 생각은 어떻게 하면 화성에 갈 수 있을까라는 질문으로 이어졌고, 발사체와 우주선이라는 퍼그들을 보기 시작하였으며, 이는 스페이스X라는 기업으로 나타났습니다. 세상을 바꾸겠다라는 마음을 가진 스티브 잡스의 생각은 어떻게 하면 세상을 바꿀까라는 질문으로 이어졌고, 소프트웨어와 혁신적인 제품이라는 퍼그들을 보기 시작하였으며, 이는 애플이라는 기업으로 나타났습니다. 그렇다면 여러분들은 지금 어떤 생각을 하고 계시고, 스스로에게 어떤 질문을 하고 있으며, 지금 어떤 퍼그들이 보이시나요? 감사합니다.